What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. And in this video here, we're going to be taking a look at the markets. We're going to be taking a look here at some important levels here on the S&P 500, also the Nasdaq and the Dow. We're going to be taking a look at the dollar and Bitcoin. And finally, we're also going to be checking in on silver and gold, both looking really solid here. Looks like it's going to be a great second half of the 2020 for not only for gold, for silver, for Bitcoin, all getting ready soon to make their move. What's going on over here? Let's check out the Nasdaq, which you could see is closing higher now on the session and on the day after this pullback. The chatter of the day is the bank stress test being released after hours. We also have some important news to look at, but the bank stress, are the headlines today. What we're really looking forward is to next Thursday, not on Friday, next Thursday's non-farm payrolls. That's going to be a big data point for the markets. Let's take a look at what's going on over here. Dow also and the S&P, all three closing high, having a great session today, opening up lower and then steadily heading up the rest of the day. Now you could see Bitcoin over here continues to consolidate, getting ready to break above 10,400 over here and start this bull market. This pullback was only into the 9,100 support. That has held. This continues to look very, very bullish over here. And we will see whether or not we get any type of flow into the weekend, any type of follow through to the little bit of risk on we saw today. If we get any type of follow through overnight, whether or not that continues tomorrow. I'm watching initially for tomorrow. By the way, let's start over here on the 8-hour on the S&P 500. People are wondering why I'm now on the 8-hour on the S&P also. Listen, prior to the end of February and the crash all through March to the end of March and then the rebound the first couple of weeks, this whole area of trading, right? This is when I got back into trading the S&P 500 because it was worth it. Prior, I was telling people, unless you're long, stop trying to short it. As soon as this thing started falling hard and fast as it does, that's when it was time to get involved. But it seems that we are seeing, although this week rather, has been some nice trading all around the markets, very smooth. Right? We talked about yesterday, we said as we were coming back and starting this retrace, if you saw a price on the 8-hour time frame make a higher high, that was the time if you were short to take profits and or if you're looking to build a possible long position in. And that would continue. That would continue down into the support, any further tests, any further test of this trend line over here, which you could see that we have peaked below on prior occasions. And then also ultimately down into this horizontal support at 29.72 and also 29.47. All of this area over here is definitely a place that I would be looking to accumulate a long position over here, as well as right over there was the first opportunity I had. Now I do feel that it would be quite possible by tomorrow morning New York is actually taking this thing down. This is about to turn here from a negative impulse positive. You could see we're about to go positive though here. This is looking at the Nasdaq 100. On the 1 hour, you could see the true trend below. You could just go up to indicators above, add the true trend to your chart. It's very simple. But you could see over here that this downward impulse is about or is on the verge of perhaps turning positive. Now do watch to see tomorrow during New York whether we do get any type of continuation to the downside. Even if we had gone positive over here, it is possible that by New York or the first hour or two pre-market New York, this does roll over back to the downside. Is it possible that we go into the weekend tomorrow, risk off? It doesn't seem like it warrants it. That doesn't seem right, but we'll see if that is what occurs. Now the DXY also here, it looks like it's consolidating pretty nicely below this resistance here at 97.60. This line I have marked over here, you could see that it looks pretty healthy consolidating here. If we start making higher highs, we could see another push here on the dollar. We could actually take out the earlier highs that were put in at 29.73, and if that happens, then yes, we should see somewhere around 98.30 or this trend line resistance. That should be a place that we look for to see whether or not right there we get rejected into that resistance, right? And then we see that weaker dollar again, or whether or not we're able to really get back up into this channel and then look at some higher levels. That remains in the cards. If that happens, we could see a little bit further pressure here on the indices, specifically here on the S&P 500, also on the Dow. You could see some pressure over there. These are just coming off their lows today. This doesn't look like a market that, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. How about that? Now, looking over here at gold, you can see gold maintains over here consolidating back above yearly highs, close to 8-year highs. Looks incredibly bullish over here. Gold getting ready to do its thing. It remains and should remain only look for opportunities to continue to buy dips on gold. Strong uptrend, buy off support to get yourself into the position. You're seeing that happen right now on silver. You're seeing yesterday, as we were looking at this coming into the support, talking about bouncing off this support, resuming off the support. It looks like a good place to buy silver. Now, what else are we looking at over here? Well, that's it. That's a look around the markets. That's what we're looking at over here. We are seeing over here this support on the S&P at 30.30 holding so far. That's holding. Price is resuming off of it. How far it retraces now, that's the next question. Very simple. Very simple in this type of market that we're in right now. You want to stay protected. Well, same thing you just did is to get into this trade over here on the 8-hour, right? Wait for this to make a lower low if you're long over here now to get out of the trade or start positioning short. But right now, looking at some headlines over here, we're actually all over this. We were talking about the possible sell side pressure here as funds were looking to rebalance. That was brought up on the live stream. That was looked at in one of our afternoon videos. Says hedge funds are cautiously bullish over here for whatever that means. But that's pretty much where we are. We're pretty bullish, watching the downside, cautiously bullish. More headlines, but good one. Owning gold is as much about diversification as it is about capital appreciation. Owning gold is no longer just some type of hedge in your portfolio. It is now a place to look for gains. In the chat group, it said that someone was saying that they were now going to be watching the mortality rate instead of the infection rate. This is saying that we're seeing a lot more infection cases rising, but new deaths are declining because you're seeing younger patients recovering. So you see that we're doing much more testing. Therefore, we're seeing the infections rise, but now we're seeing the mortality rate decline. If we continue to see that, that could become a trend to watch and something that's very hopeful and positive. And this actually came up today also. Natural gas. What do you do if you're short here? It's nearing your low. You know, we talked about oil, right? We talked about oil going back in the beginning of the year when it was trading in its high 50s. And we were talking when we were looking like for $35 oil. That came much sooner than expected. And from there, we were looking at price targets of $22. And then, which also came quickly, $14.50. After it crossed $14.50 at that point, there was no longer any clarity. Things unfolded much quicker than we had anticipated, and we were on the right side of the trade. At that point, I stood aside. I'm looking for clarity in trades. I'm looking for something that I could do methodically over and over again and produce results. When things get that uncertain and that volatile, sometimes it's a good idea to walk away. It looks like the next big session is going to be tomorrow, pre-market New York. We'll see you all a half hour before the U.S. equity markets open. I'll see you all a half hour before the U.S. markets open for our live stream. We had a fantastic one today. Hope to have another one tomorrow. It's Friday, and I happen to love our Friday live streams, a little bit of an opportunity to talk about things we don't normally get the time to talk about, as well as really connect together. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. Help support the channel. Definitely appreciate that, as I do all of you. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow.